This is a short video demonstration for Welcome Break about ProgrammExpress, our portfolio and project tracking solution where we aim to automate portfolio reporting, portfolio and program reporting, and replace labor-intensive manual processes with a simple, intuitive and cost-effective solution. So ProgrammExpress is a cloud-based solution. Each of our clients will have their own URL, so it would be welcomebreak.programmexpress.co.uk, just using one of our demo systems. But what you will see is that we have applied logos and color palettes of Welcome Break, which can be changed. So it's just an example, but all of our clients use their own brand identity. We tend to find it more engaging for the users. So I'm going to log on as an administrator of ProgrammExpress. You can be an administrator, a write access user, or a read-only user. And what access you have depends on what you can see. As an administrator, it will take you through to our home page where you will see, again, we've got the logo and we're using your color palette from your website. But this is our home page. An administrator can see all programs and projects sitting within the portfolio. And they can see the health of each of the projects broken down by all of the modules. You don't have to have these, but here shown as icons, best described through the Updates tab as commentary, plan, resources, cost, benefits, impacts, risks, and logs. Now, you don't have to take all of the modules. It just depends what your business requirement is. But we also have document storage, and we have for lots more in terms of reporting and dashboards, which I shall show you a few of. So again, the administrator can see all the projects, they can see all the modules, they can see the health in terms of red, amber, green, and they can also run reports that they have configured themselves through the reporting screen, or shared reports which have been set up by the central projects team, program office, the PMO. So most things can be done from this screen. Now, ProgrammExpress is very much about simple data inputs and powerful project, program, and portfolio reporting outputs. So if I were a user or a project manager, I'd see something different because we'd filter the roles and make it simpler. And I'll show you quickly an example of how that works by logging on as somebody who's been given access rights with filtered roles. So I'm logging onto the same database, same home screen, but you'll see a lot simpler user interface. And this is telling us that this person has been given write access to 3 projects. They can have read access to other projects, and they can toggle between the 2. But in this instance, we'll stick with they've got 3 projects to update, and they've got only 4 modules. So we're expecting them to update commentary, plan, costs, and risks. So as a user, we simply go into the project, we go into the commentary by clicking on the square. We can see what we said before, and then we can make updates. And we can make updates to the commentary threads that have been configured. So achieve last period focus for next period decision escalation. These are configurable, so these could be changed. But once they've made those updates, they would then go into the plan screen. They'd see the high-level plan, and they'd make their updates to the plan, change the forecast dates, or add or take away tasks and milestones. Then they'd move through to the costs, add a row in terms of cost items, amend the forecast, and then once they've done that, they'd move them through to the risk screen, have a look at the risks, amend the RAG status, add mitigating actions, or maybe add more risks. And then back into the home screen, once they've made their data changes, what they're more than likely going to want to do is run a report. So we'll show here an example of a project report. This will replace the need for a PowerPoint slide, a 1-page summary, PPT we call it, because it sits nicely on a PowerPoint slide, and automatically we'll see the project, the RAG status, some milestone information, some financial information, and then the commentary threads that we've specifically configured for this report. So that's the experience of the project manager. You could maybe just have 2 of the modules, you can have 6 of the modules, you can set up whatever roles you require, whether your project manager wants to apply more complex data inputs, or whether they are more business initiative owners that just need to make simple updates. Now, if I'm one more view, if I log on as somebody else, what I'm going to demonstrate here is that you don't need to take all the modules, and if you only took maybe 5 of the modules, our core modules as we call it, so this would be a system that only had our core modules, and you don't need to apply any more. So there's no documents, there's no benefits, resources, impacts, more serious change management stuff. This is just our core commentary plan, costs, risks, and logs. And logs can be actions, issues, decisions. So we'd probably say that this was the core, and this is probably the minimum for a PPM solution. So that's the view of a client that may only take a certain number of modules, and I'll show that in the pricing. Back in as the administrator, this is the first screen that we went to. Again, every time we go into the same database, same home screen, but now the administrator can be confident that all the data is up to date, and there are lots of reports and audit trails to make sure that the data is fresh. And we'll see again all the projects. Now we might be drawn to where the problem areas are in the portfolio, which are the reds, and we can start to filter if we want, filter out the greens, filter out the ambers, and we can start to see where the problems are within the projects and which modules or which data is affecting the project. So if we were to select project 1C, what we can do is we can move along, we can drill down and say, why is that red? That's the cost screen. Click on the square, and we can see within costs that it's been updated to say the forecast exceeds the planned or the budget, it's out of tolerance and hence a red status. So we can do that with all of the projects and all of the modules. But more than likely, the administrator or the project control team, whatever we want to call them, is going to start to want to run reports. We've shown one example of a project report. If I show one more, what we call a one-page overview. Now this is more of a Word report, the other one was more of a PowerPoint report, and you'll see here that what we've got is very simple commentary, plan, risks, actions, issues, decisions, lessons learned. That's what we call a one-pager from a project. But where ProgrammExpress really, what ProgrammExpress really plays to is program and portfolio reporting, and this is where we're now automating, replacing the need for an Excel summary or PowerPoint summary reports, and we have what we call a RAG status summary, and this is a real-time report which is fairly self-explanatory, Excel style, and you'll see here the projects sitting within the programs and the columns we've configured, bit of planning information, bit of RAG information, and the commentary information. We'd possibly have this as our weekly flash report, state of the nation on a Monday morning. We can see the health of the projects, any decisions and escalations required. Or another example may be a Gantt chart. Now we're running at portfolio level, we can run these at any level. So if I run a Gantt chart report at portfolio level, that says give me the plan of everything that sits underneath me. So here we've got all the program and project plans in a Gantt chart view. Very simple to visualize and difficult if you don't have a solution like this to get every plan for every project in one place. You'll see that we use our taskbars, use the red, amber, green methodology. Red means it's missed today's date, and amber means it's forecasting to be later than what the business expected. And if we wanted to look at the same data in a different view, let's have a look at a milestone summary. This is more of a higher level timeline view, and we can see again all the projects and the key milestones plan on a row, again showing the health of the key milestones in terms of red, amber, green expected delivery dates. So that's a couple of examples, and one, if resource planning in a simple form is a requirement, Let's run a resource usage summary. Again, this is Excel style output, but it's not independent of the portfolio and the plans. It's aligned, resources are aligned to the plans, and you'll see all our resources. You'll see what projects they're working on, number of days in a period, their aggregated total, and therefore we can start to see where there are potentially resource hotspots or over allocations. Again, that's just one example of a resource report, and that's not a module that you necessarily need to take. One more may be benefits. Again, not a module you need to take, but you'll be able to see quite clearly here the projects, who's working on them, the type of benefit, the forecast cost of a project, the planned benefit and the forecast benefit, and you can start to annualize the benefits of your projects in terms of ROI against benefit types which are configured as strategic objectives. In this case, just examples. So as I mentioned, this is just a short demonstration. You'll see that it's very simple and quick to implement and train in. It's cloud-based. There's no IT implementation. There's lots of different user access types, audit controls. We've got document storage if you wish, lots more different types of reporting and dashboard, different settings, and administrator configuration. And configuration of the system takes about half a day, but that's where you can start to bespoke it slightly and make it more like your own. For example, with the commentary threads, people have different ideas of what a commentary thread is. So that's just a very sort of like simple update. In terms of cost, what we do is we sell ProgrammExpress by core modules. I mentioned that, commentary through to logs, and extra modules, resources, benefits, impacts, and documents. And we sell it by small, medium, and large size. You can go bigger, but I suspect you probably wouldn't want to. So small, medium, and large, and then you look along the matrix and you say, if you just took the core, these 5, that would be £500 per month with a £1,000 implementation fee and possibly 1 day of training. So maybe a £1,500 implementation fee and £500 a day. A couple of extra modules like resources and documents, that would take you up to £700 a month. And then if you're on the medium, it would be £1,400 a month, give you up to 50 licenses. Or you could purchase, and that would be over a 3-year period, would give you some benefit, but that just depends on how you want to finance it. So that's just to give you a quick example. So again, color palettes and logos takes 5 minutes to set up, make it look like your own, very quick and simple to implement. So having seen that, if you think it hits the spot, meets the requirement, then potentially we could lead to a webinar with fuller functionality, or a face-to-face, which would be more preferable. We're Milton Keynes based, so we can easily pop down to Newport Pagnell and show and tell. But for now, hopefully that might meet the requirement, and thank you very much for watching.